Let's see if I do this. Yeah. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh man. Can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? It looks like the mic is on. You can? Okay. Cool. By the way, I saw Berserk's comment saying, hey, let's troll Clan tonight and say that Sochan was trash. I have something to say to y'all. Because I've been seeing a lot of comments in here. It's kind of contradicting itself a little bit. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Go ahead and, because I got to do something a little different when I'm at my folks' house. Make this work. In the chat. All right. Chat here on the side. Make that here. I can hear you okay, or not hear you okay. See you guys okay. And then you go to NBA. All right, let's see here. Tuesday is New Year's Eve, right? Okay, so I'll still be here. But we'll go live Tuesday. Just trying to think how many things can we go over tonight. Let's see. Games. Tuesday, okay. So the Spurs play the Clippers on New Year's Eve. All right. All right. Don't worry, I'm looking at the chat. So we can go over. We can go over. We can do about three. Let's do about 3 segments. That's probably just some. Oops. Let me take this off. Guys, how many times did we play the Timberwolves? Was it only 2 times so far? Have we only played the Timberwolves twice? 3 so far. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So this isn't updated. I was trying to see if NBA.com updated Jeremy Sochan's stats when guarding Anthony Edwards, but it doesn't look like they did it yet. A big chunk of the game, though, they had him on center on Rudy Gobert. Elite 2-1. I think we have one more. It's been 3. Yeah, we should play him one more time. Fox officially asked for a trade. Shut up. When did that happen? I've been out all day. By the way, y'all, I can tell the difference between people that are in the chat all the time or that has engaged in the channel for the longest. I can tell the difference between those people and the difference of people that just watch on YouTube randomly. There's some weird people that leave comments on YouTube videos, man. I was just I never look at it, and I was just glancing at it. Well, I look at it sometimes. I was just glancing at it today, and there was 2 that were so crazy. They say nasty words to you, dude. I'm gonna have to like start blocking people from commenting. There was one person that said that they unsubscribed because they're like, I posted this. It's a grown man wearing a bonnet. I'm not gonna listen to you talk about sports. I'm like, dude, I'll wear whatever I want to wear. What are you talking about? I'll jump on stream with a Cinderella dress if I want to. Shut up. Like, leave over a bonnet. You're weird, man. I think you're way weirder than me taking care of my hair. That's way weirder. And then it was another comment that was just rude. It was so rude. What the F? It's so weird. I know, dude. Stop the bonnet hate. I know. I gotta take a shower, by the way. I'm still dressed from going out today. And it was another one that, because I mentioned on one of the videos, I guess I mentioned on there, going to Japan, because you guys know I'm going to visit Japan, and then my hopes are to live there in 2026. Like, that will be my goal. It was a comment, and they were like, how are you going to live in Japan? You don't do anything. What kind of hating comment is that? What do you mean? Like, it was so assumptive. Assumptive? Is that the word? Oh no, you're assuming a lot, and then on top of it, I don't know. It just seems kind of like hatery, like jealousy. Like, it was real presumptive. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It was just really weird. Yeah, it's really strange, man. Assumptive? Assumptive? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Presumptuous? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know the English language. That's why I'm learning Japanese. So strange. You know anime, that's all you need. Exactly. I've seen Demon Slayer, okay? I'm ready. English is hard. English is hard. We have a weird language, don't we? Assumatory? Okay. All right, guys. We're making up words now. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. Um, but it was like, dude, first off, I have a master's degree. All right. So that's number one. So you're just assuming this. Number two, even if all I did was YouTube, I would like, that's okay. That's okay. You can get a visa for that. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. It was so rude, man. I just saw that comment. I was like, wow, this person is really sad to like say that. Like, and I noticed another thing too that's kind of cool is like they show you how often people comment. So that's a good way to know whether or not you should block somebody, right? Because if someone's commented on multiple different videos or whatever, and they're usually pretty cool, and they have one thing that they say that's kind of weird, like you usually at that slide. When it's like one comment and that's the only thing you ever commented on, it's like, dude, what's your problem? They're depressed. It's really strange, bro. It's really strange, y'all. It's me. Need to move that near the door. Oh. Let's see. I don't know why I'm in this chat because I'm extremely furious. Pretty bad. I was actually upset that Sochan didn't get the ball on one of those plays when they had him wide open in the corner. I feel like that would have been an easier shot than what we had to settle for at the end. I thought that was weird what we had to settle for. All right, let's go ahead and hold on. If I do react, it's gonna come up. Oh, I have to. Okay, I see. Hold on. Give me a sec, y'all. All right, can y'all see that? Oh, you can't see that. Hold on, give me a minute. Probably have to do a new tab. You guys see that? Okay, you can see that. All right. So you said DeAndre. I said DeAndre. De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox. Asked for a trade. Where can I find that? Said who? Yeah. I don't think that's true. Oh, was it a lie? Oh, okay. If you most of the chat saying he didn't. I'm not tripping. I didn't see anything. Okay, that might not have fake news. Oh, okay. It looks like it didn't happen. It was on YouTube. Okay, now it doesn't sound as credible. Let me see. We know that a trade is coming. Like, we know that. Oh, hold on. Well, no, this is a little. Oops. This is a little different than De'Aaron Fox hints at desire for trades to improve King's dire situation. So yeah, that's not the same as him wanting a trade. We have to find a way to get better, whether that's players that aren't in the locker room or the players in the locker room. We have to buckle down and get better. Oh, that is pretty bad. The conference is continuing to grow, so we have to grow with it. That's the nature of the job that we have. Obviously, him signing his extension. I think he's going to eventually ask out, but it doesn't look like it happened yet. Ah, gosh. All right, guys. You see Mikasa back there. Yeah. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. But it's gonna be nice when it does happen. It's gonna happen though. Let's see here. There's that. All right. So as we always do, we'll go over this game, and then maybe we can watch some press conferences because we need some answers. We desperately need some answers. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Like Mr. Mackey. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this game. First and foremost, I guess we'll talk about it as a whole. Team was quite awful in the first half. Okay, quite awful. I was praying to the heavens that the Spurs could at least keep it within 10 points going into the half, and I think we were down by maybe 12, 14. I don't remember. But too lazy to do the math here. But it was pretty bad. It felt as if the entire first half, it didn't feel like the Spurs had any control. It felt like Timberwolves controlled the pace. They controlled everything. I mean, they controlled everything. They were getting basically whatever they wanted. Our offense became stagnant. Timberwolves' really good defense started to show. And another thing that I expected, and I tweeted this out, is that I expect the Spurs to come into the third and play much better, right? Bring some nasty. And they definitely did that. They brought a lot of nasty into the third. So as far as coaching is concerned, I saw some people in the comments or in the chat here say like Mitch Johnson really dropped the ball. I think you guys are talking about in particular that last possession. But I think one thing to keep in mind is that the Timberwolves are a very good defensive team, right? Very good defensive team. So that's going to make things difficult in and of itself. But just overall, what I saw was I thought the Spurs lacked some energy. When Chris Paul talked about that lack of maturity, I think that it showed in this game. And honestly, the person I was most disappointed in was actually the best player on the court, and that was Wemby. It seemed as if when Wemby, I don't know what it is, but there were times in this game where I felt like it was a little bit of lack of effort. Um, Timberwolves commentators were really making me angry because they kept calling him a flopper because he's not a flopper. But there was a couple times where he did have to rely on that a little bit. He had to rely on a call, in order to try to make something happen. But there were plenty of times that were good from Victor, and there was plenty of times that were bad. He said, I think he's gassed. I have no idea. But one thing that I don't like at times, and this is just critiquing him because he's this great, right? Is it seems like when he's struggling or it's a little bit of lack of energy, sometimes it seems like he becomes a little bit more mopey. It seems like he settles for really bad shots. Defense just isn't there at all. If you're gassed, obviously it won't be there. But he just becomes a little bit more unorthodox in a bad way, like a little out of control, a little sloppy with the ball. Moved off his spots way easier than when he is engaged. Because when we went into the third and even a big chunk of the fourth, I thought Victor was locked in. But man, it was frustrating that first half, and we desperately needed him because it was obvious that we were completely leaning on Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, like completely leaning on them, which is not good whatsoever. So there's that. So as far as like who to point the finger to, not to say it's all his fault, because I thought the team as a whole, and we were talking about everybody, but I think the team as a whole was pretty bad. But Victor was one where we needed him to step up. And in that fourth quarter, the amount of threes that he was taking was so unnecessary. It felt like threes of, okay, if I hit this three, we can get out of here. Okay, if I hit this three, we can get out of here. Okay, if I hit this three, and timing is everything. And he took about 3 or 4 threes. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but it felt like 4 threes in a row, where I was just like, why do you keep taking these threes? Stop. And once he got to the paint, it was nice. Once he took a mid-range shot, it was nice. But I don't know why he kept doing that. So let's just go through the whole team. All right, we'll go through the whole team. Now, this is what I'm not going to accept. All right, everybody, and I know this is going to sound crazy because, you know, obviously the last possession was so bad, and plenty of people in the chat have already said this. And, you know, somebody even said, yes, troll clan, and say that Sochan was awful. So Sochan's the first one on the list because he's the first right here, obviously. Sochan was not bad today. Okay, this was one of those games where, yes, things weren't really going down offensively, right? Quite a bit, you know, struggling on the defensive end as far as fouls, not him struggling, but as far as fouls. But overall, this is the Sochan that kind of accustomed to. These are the type of games that we can expect from him. It's going to be plenty of games where Sochan doesn't really contribute much offensively. He's not that type of player. What? No, I'm being honest here. He's not that type of player. He's not somebody that we're definitely going to be able to lean on offensively. But as far as defensively, he did good. One thing that you can't say is you can't say that Sochan did poorly. He was trash today, but then also say Anthony Edwards was trash today, because oftentimes the Spurs has Sochan on Edwards. They had him on Sochan or on Edwards, and they also had to have him on Rudy Gobert. He was doing a lot defensively. It was a lot Sochan had to do off defensively. He did not have a bad game. Now, we can say that offensively he didn't play well, which I agree. I mean, 2 for 8 is not good, right? 1 for 3 from 3 is not terrible, but, you know, it is what it is. But no, I won't sit here and say Sochan played poorly, right? I can't do that. I thought that defense was really good. It was a tough matchup, man. Jack, it's a tough matchup. You got Sochan guarding Anthony Edwards. You got him switching off to guard Rudy Gobert. It's a tough matchup. It was a tough matchup. I wonder how many offensive rebounds the Timberwolves got. We felt undersized the entire time, and you can tell Mitch Johnson, I don't want to say panic, that's a bad way of framing it, but he tried to play Bassey as much as he could. I mean, a few minutes, but he was like, let me try something. Let me look at their rebounds overall. Let's see, ours 41. Yeah, look at this. We had 41 rebounds to their 56. There was no room for Sochan to get rebounds. Rudy Gobert had 15 of them. It was just tough. 56 to 41. It was just tough. Like, this is one of those where you got to contextualize it. What, bro? I don't know why this is so difficult. You got to contextualize it. In this game, how difficult it was, and all of these different things you're asking Sochan to do defensively was pretty tough. Sochan did not have a bad game. You can never look at his stats and get the full picture. You got to actually just pay attention to what's going on. He did not have a bad game. For instance, you can look at, oh gosh, I know. People are going to hate this. But like statistic wise, you will look at the statistics here and say Sochan had a bad game. Keldon had a good game. No, he didn't. Keldon had a worse game. His defense was terrible. There were quite a few times that Timberwolves weren't able to take advantage of wide open shots that Keldon left for him. But Keldon had a worse game than Sochan. Statistically, you'll look at it and say, oh no, it looks like Keldon had 13 points, 6 rebounds. He played better. No, he didn't. No Keldon versus Sochan tonight. I'm not pinning them up against each other. I'm just saying. Like, look, there's no one else I can really compare it to. Yeah, I can't really compare it to anybody else because Chris Paul, I thought he did have a good game, even though he only had 6 points or whatever. And obviously Harrison Barnes had a better game than Sochan. Man, tell me right now that Sochan had a worse game this season. I don't think you can. This was the worst game of the season. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to. You want me to tell you that this was Sochan's worst game this season? Offensively, maybe. Maybe offensively. I don't know. His defense was good. Okay, can you guys tell me that Sochan played bad defense? Go ahead and tell me that. When I think a bad game, when I think a genuine bad game, I think you were just trash defensively. You didn't contribute in any shape of the imagination. It was just overall bad. I don't even think Wemby, even me criticizing Wemby, I don't think Wemby had like a bad game. Offense was bad. I didn't say that. I said, did Sochan play bad defense? Was Sochan bad defensively? If you say that, you're completely wrong. I already said offensively it wasn't the best. But you can't. Sochan, you'll never really be able to just lean on Sochan offensively. Did Sochan have a bad game defensively? Sochan did a fine job on Ant. A fine job. Anthony Edwards was 6 for 20. I'm just saying, like you guys want to sit here and be like, "Oh, Clan, how can you say Sochan had a good game when he shot 2 for 8?" It's like, yeah, I could easily say that. The last shot of the game was really ugly. I thought that was really dumb. I don't know what our offense was doing there. 2 for 7 before that, and that's still not good. I haven't seen one person in the chat tell me that he played poorly defensively. If he had a great game defensively, then how did you have a bad game? Plan, if we didn't have Sochan, then Anthony Edwards would have gone off and scored much more. We would have lost by much more. Exactly. No one's telling me Sochan had a bad, because no one can say that with a straight face. You can't actually type into the chat Sochan had a bad game defensively unless you're trolling. Played good defense and still had a bad game. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you I don't know what to tell you. So Sochan, out of all the players, of all the main players, the main uh uh pieces to this puzzle, he shot the least amount of times, the least amount of times. I don't know. Harrison Barnes shot 9 times. Wemby shot 30. Devin Vassell shot 14. Yeah, Keldon shot 11. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. Cohan blew the game. All right, guys. Okay, it's right after the game. People are emotional about it. It's cool. All right, should we move on? I had to focus on that because I saw a lot of people in the chat early on say like Sochan had a terrible game. He was absolutely trash. And I was like, no, he played well defensively. Like really well defensively. And offensively, I'm not leaning on Jeremy Sochan to save the day. I never am. When he has great offensive performances, just it's icing on the cake really for me. I don't expect him to be that in his career. It was a close loss. All right. Anyways, so I'm expecting plenty of hate on that when this video is uploaded, but it just is what it is. I thought Sochan did well, and we are not going to say he played poorly when he was doing so much defensively. It was a lot they put on him defensively, and people are like, "Well, he played 37 minutes." Defensively, that's all we had. They had him as the backup center for Wemby. We had him on Anthony Edwards. We had him switching all over the place. I mean, he had to do a lot. It was a lot. And even with the amount of different lineups and matchups that were out there, so he had a -4 plus minus with all the different players he was playing with on the court. Anyways, Harrison Barnes was great. I just hate the fact that we had to lean on him so heavy offensively. Let's see. Victor Wembanyama, I already mentioned Vic, that I just thought he had lack of effort at times, but going into the second half, he was locked in. And then it kind of ended with way too many threes. And yeah, hold on. Actually, we go to play-by-play. We could probably see how many threes he actually took. Let's see. Oh, fine. Let's see here. Let's see. So we'll go into crunch time. We'll go under 5 minutes. All right. So he missed a long 2-point shot. All right. So 3 minutes 57 time on the clock. He missed a 27-foot 3-point jumper. And then 3 minutes and 12 seconds, another 25-foot 3-point jumper, pull-up 3-point jumper that he missed. And then he made a 21-foot pull-up jump shot, which was nice. But then he missed a 24-foot 3-point jumper. And then he took, with a minute left, a 28-foot 3-point jumper. It was insane. And that kind of lost us the game, in my opinion. Then he missed a free throw. It was just bad shot selection, I think. And with him being our best player on the court, he got to do better. I'm pretty sure even later on when we look at the press conference, he'll say he got to do better. We'll see what he has to say. Doesn't mean he's trash. Doesn't mean he's garbage. It's just his tendency that's becoming a little worrisome, especially against a team like the Timberwolves, right? You're not going to just get away with that. You need to be very smart in every possession down the stretch. Their defense is just too good. You can't settle for like crazy 3-pointers. Not like he was super hot in this game either, Lance Sochan is solid and consistent. We need better outside shooting. We need another big that can provide defense and offense so the teams don't go off on us when Wemby is resting. Yeah, Sochan is solid. He's solid. He is consistent. I mean, it's fine. But the amount of defense that I saw from Sochan tonight, I can't say with a good conscience he had a bad game. In the second half for Wemby, for a big chunk of it, I can't say with a straight face, Wemby had a bad game. Chris Paul went 0 for 6. I watched the game. He did not have a bad game. He was doing everything he possibly could. Him and Harrison Barnes were the MVPs of this game, as much they were trying to do. By the way, Devin Vassell, pretty decent shooting performance. So that's good. That's something that we should be feel pretty good about, because we were a little worried about him. But he had a pretty good shooting performance. So that's good. Had a really clutch shot as well, too. I'm glad Vassell had a better game. Yeah. He was way better in this one. They didn't really have anybody that could answer for him. Okay, so Zach Collins barely played, so we won't focus on that. Julian Champagnie, his defense over the course of the last few games has been kind of strange. I know he has a block and a steal here in 11 minutes, which is great. But watching the game, his on-ball defense has been pretty wavery, right? Been pretty Wizards of Waverly Place, you know what I mean? Been strange. All right. And then Keldon, yeah, ooh. I'm about to be mean. I won't be mean. take is too. Oh yeah, Clan. The only thing worse than the Sochan take is you wore a bonnet take. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe. Just kidding. Yeah, that was so stupid. So silly. So silly. All right, moving on. Let's see here. So yeah, Keldon. Keldon was awful. Keldon was absolutely awful. I'm sorry, guys. He was absolutely awful. It was terrible. I don't know what to tell you. You want to talk about bad games? That was a bad game. I'm glad that they didn't leave him in with the last 5 minutes left. That actually did make me angry. There were many times that I was angry. There were so many times that he left, and they knew. The sad part about it is, if you watched all the times Keldon left his matchup open, the Wolves knew they were going to be open. Like, they knew he was going to bite. They knew he was going to close it way too much. I'm not using the right terminology there. They knew that he was going to overhelp. That's what I was trying to say. It was ridiculous. They passed before he even brought the help. They knew he was going to bring the help. Overcompensating. It was really bad. Defensively, it was really bad. Offensively, it's just kind of the same old story. First half, he goes right into your chest. He gets some shots there, but then he continues to do it the entire game. And when the opposing team reacts to it, adjusts to it, it looks terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And I think within those 5 minutes at the end, was it 6 minutes left on the clock? I don't quite recall. They blocked him, and it really irritated me because it was like, dude, this is crunch time. You can't keep doing the same thing. There was one play that he got to the line, and thank God they gave him some free throws, but he ended up leaving Trey Jones wide open in the corner. That would have been a really nice, possibly easy three-pointer. Let's see. Missed. I think it was 5 minutes left. Anthony Edwards blocks. 6 minutes. Okay, I said 6 minutes before. It was 6 minutes, 54 seconds left. Yeah, and then they took him out of the game with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left, which I thought that the team that we closed out the game with was totally fine. I wish we wouldn't give up on. That might be too harsh of a thing to say, but I wish we wouldn't give up on Castle. It seems like we're seeing less and less Castle, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I think Castle needs more minutes. He's one of those players that I think, the more you put him out there, the better he'll get as the game goes on. But, I understand. 8 minutes, 4 turnovers. He's like, yeah, look, we're not gonna put you out there. I do hate that we're not seeing him. Give him his time to learn. Yeah. I think it's his demeanor. It's just how he approached the game. I think the longer the game goes on, the better he'll get. And right now he's completely out of rhythm, getting taken out of the starting lineup. His minutes are all over the place. I don't want him to be thrown in the same category that we're throwing in, Malachi right now, that you barely see him. Or, Charles Bassey, where you barely see him. I don't like that. Bro, it's ridiculous. I think they're really not giving him time. They don't want him to win Rookie of the Year. It's just strange. But I get it. I mean, right here, this isn't the coach's fault that you play 8 minutes and give us 4 turnovers. It's not the coach's fault. Sochan gave us 3 turnovers in 37 minutes of play, and you gave us 4 in 8 minutes. Spurs don't have enough floor spacers to get the good version of Castle. Oh, no. I think a big chunk of it is Castle just kind of screwing up. It seems like this might be crazy to say. If I'm out of pocket on this, then it's fine. Like, you guys can correct me, or you think that it's not the case. But I think that, even though he is strong for his age, I think he needs a little bit more strength. He loses the ball on drives quite often. Like, he wants to get physical, but he'll just lose the ball. You know, I think that might have something to do with strength. He can't hold on to it. If we played Castle for more minutes, it would mean we prefer development rather than playoffs. That's a good point too. Muhammad has a good point there in the chat because the Spurs are definitely going for the playoffs. They are shooting for the playoffs. If this was last year, I don't think that we even think about it, right? Like, yeah, you're gonna shoot for it somewhat, but you're gonna give Castle all the minutes in the world. I guess I'm thinking of it from a developmental standpoint, or maybe just a fan standpoint. That I just want to see him, but I mean, we can't say that 8 minutes, like every 2 minutes, giving us a turnover, you should be playing in that game, Playing, can you please tell these Keldon followers and Sochan haters that Sochan is top 3 player on the team? Spurs will keep Sochan and trade Keldon for better help. Keldon needs to go. I'll say this. Yes, Sochan is one of the best players on the team. I think he's our second best defender on the team, right? The amount of situations that the Spurs can place him in is absolutely crazy. And when we actually have genuine talent, offensive talent, uh, everyone is unanimously going to love Sochan. It's just that it's just unfortunate because the type of player he is, he's going to have games like this where he only gives you 5 points. But if you're not paying attention, you would have thought that he had a bad game. You'll see this and say, "Oh my God, he was trash." But if you watch the game, he was doing everything defensively, which was insane, insane what they had him doing. He was on everybody, and he brought a certain level of intensity that not the entire team was showing, throughout the game. And then when it comes to Keldon, I'm not going to sit here and just be like, Keldon needs to be traded. He's absolutely garbage. I think it can work. It's just the tendencies, man, is just really bad. Even in this game in particular, he was just letting the ball fly. He was just letting it fly. There was no hesitation, no thought on maybe I should pass this ball up. I honestly wish Devin Vassell had like 50% of Keldon's aggression. There was one play in particular that I thought Devin Vassell shouldn't have passed up. He passed up a shot, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, you had a wide open layup, man!" But you're so selfless that. Why do I not remember him shooting 5 threes? I don't know. Yeah, that was often, man. He was letting it fly as soon as they gave it to him, whether he was open or not. He was just letting it fly. He just has too much tunnel vision. But when Keldon like takes a back seat and just playing a role, I think it's fine. But he was one of the players in this game that I thought got too many minutes. I know 17 is like, how is that too many minutes? But it was bad, man. I'll try my best, guys. Like honestly, let me be real with you. And anybody seeing this on YouTube is way too late. You've given up on me already throughout this. You probably already turned the video off. But I'll say this at least to the chat. I'm gonna try my absolute best to be more charitable to Keldon. I'm really gonna try. I really am. Just this game in particular. Well, there's a lot of games, but this game, I was paying attention to our defense because because I really focused in on that when the Timberwolves were just kind of getting whatever they wanted, and it felt as if they just controlled the entire pace of the game. And defensively, not to say Keldon was the only one, but it was really bad. You say you better try to be charitable. I'm trying. I'm gonna try harder. I'm gonna try harder. Anything that I see that I think is really good, I'll try harder. It's just at this point, when he had those, shots in the paint in the first half, it was I just knew that by the end of the game, if he keeps trying that, it's just not going to work. All good, Clan. Appreciate you keeping it real. Thanks, Tyler. I try to be honest. I know people think that like I hate Keldon. I don't. I don't. I think that's what makes me like so irritated too. It's because I do like him. If it was DJ, man, I'd probably be calling for a trade. The tricky thing with DJ was like at that time, even when I didn't really like him, um, uh, he did have some pretty good performances, right? And Clan Keldon shooting 44% from the field and 26% from three. Is that for the season? You sure? He can't be that bad. Huh. He's literally having his worst season of his career. I just don't think he fits with the team that well, man. And like I said, um, I wouldn't I wouldn't be this critical about his offense. Like I could just say, oh, okay, he's talented offensively. It'll come together by the end of the season. These numbers should improve. Even if I said that, the defense has been so bad. I really want you guys, and someone, I think somebody last live stream was like, maybe somebody tweeted this out to me, and they were like, "Oh, Clan, every time you mention this, I forget to pay attention." Next game, just key in on Keldon Johnson defensively. Look at his team defense. It's that bad. It's that bad, guys. It really is. His man-to-man defense isn't the worst. Like his man-to-man defense is okay. But just pay attention. It is that bad. Oh no. Keldon picks and Sochan for Zion. It looks like you're saying trade me, Keldon picks and Sochan for Zion. No, no. Zion, I don't even know if I trust that he'll be able to play. No. I don't even know if I would go as far as say Keldon and picks. I don't really want Zion at all, to be honest. If that's the case, I'd rather keep Keldon. At least Keldon plays. No to Zion, no to Zion, yeah. Zion healthy is a good scorer. Zion healthy is an absolute monster, one of the best players in the NBA. It's just I don't know if I trust that he'll remain healthy. But then again, the Pelicans are not the best franchise when it comes to conditioning, so there's that. Is there anything else to say about this game? I thought that they played harder than us. I was really let down by Wemby because I think that we really needed some more intensity from him, a little bit more nasty. But in the second half, he came in pretty strong, right? So I can't deny that. So I was happy about that. Um, and I just think overall we just lost to a better team. We lost to a better team. I'm gonna end this one here. Let's end this segment. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people are gonna hate this one. Sochan did not have a bad game. All right. Offensively wasn't the best, but defensively, I can't say with a straight face that they didn't have him literally doing everything. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I think someone needs me, so where's my be right back? Do I have a be right back? Gotta be right back. All right, give me 1 second, yo. All right. All right, cool. All right, guys. Backscastle needs experience playing against better teams. I agree with that, Mario. Everyone except for Wimby should have a price. What Mario say? No excuse to not make a trade this season. Wimby's the only untouchable. I'm gonna go as far as say Sochan is like pretty close to untouchable, especially with the players that's available right now and the amount of versatility that you get out of him defensively. Um, he's borderline untouchable. Not as untouchable as Wimby, but it's about there. It's pretty untouchable. I think Vassell is like maybe a slight tier under that, and then obviously Castle. You're not gonna trade Castle right now. That ain't gonna happen. So hand Castle and Wimby untouchables. Yeah. I don't think so. And you touchable. No, he's not. Maybe for what's out there and what's available. No, not really. The last thing you want to do is like gain one thing and then lose another aspect, like a big aspect, right? Like right now, the San Antonio Spurs, their main identity is defense, right? It started with Sochan, like drafting Sochan, but he is one of our defensive anchors. You could put him in so many different situations. That's why the Spurs are, it's not going to be forever, but that's why they're leaning on him being a backup center. It's a rarity to have somebody that's at his size that is as versatile as he is defensively and has as high a basketball IQ that he has. It's very rare to have that. I mean, you don't want to just get rid of that. He's super young. Defense has been insane. You got him doing all these different things on the court. He's been the most consistent player as far as what he is. Yeah, he's borderline untouchable. You don't want to just trade away. You don't want to add De'Aaron Fox. Like, okay, now we have some scoring perimeter, and then you just lose this big chunk of defense that you had before. You don't do that. We need a real backup center, of course. But the fact that Sochan can even be a temporary, player in that position is crazy. Sochan at center, terrible idea. I didn't say Sochan I said that's what we have to do right now. But the fact that he's capable of doing that is crazy. If we go small and we're going against another team that's going small, I'm completely comfortable with Sochan at center. But that's not something that you have to continuously do. We have to get a center for that. But Sochan can guard 1 through 4 basically. On occasion 5. It really depends on the matchup. But he's a 1 through 4 type of defender. Very impressive. Point guard's a center. What you doing for New Year's, bro? I was chilling with fam, and then I have to drive back to my apartment, so I'll be back with you guys for sure on Thursday. Will you live stream when you move to Japan? Yeah, of course. I have to figure that out. Guys, give me one more second, okay? Hold on. All right. All right. What else you got here? How's your holiday week been? It's been pretty cool. Is that cat on your back? He's all the way over there in the corner. Um, Someone else asked a question. Will you still be live streaming when you move to Japan? Yes. Um, when do you plan on moving? The plan is I'm aiming for 2026. I want the summer of 2026. It might be slightly later than that, but that's what I'm going to be aiming for. After this summer, that's when I'm really going to start honing in on jobs and all that. Trying to see, but yeah. So what I do for work, I'm trying to get some hours in. Um, and yeah, I should have that hit by like early 2026. So I'll be fine to go. What do you do for work? I'm a licensed therapist. Top three things Spurs need to add in order of importance. Number one is I think a small forward. Number two is a backup center, and number three is a point guard. But then again, I guess we could say shooter. But as far as shooter, I think that can come in forms of two or three of those. Two of the three of those. Mm-mm. I'm new here. Why are you moving to Japan? Because Japan seems awesome. I actually have a friend that lives there currently, and I talk to her all the time about it. And then uh, my partner, she's actually half Japanese, so she has a family that live there as well. So everything I hear about it from people that already live there, and I know the good, the bad, but way better healthcare, way better use of tax money, all that good stuff. Excited. Off topic basketball, what helped you get into licensed therapy? How much schooling did you do? And do you recommend any programs? Sorry for off topic questions. I actually got into it because I majored in psychology um, during my undergrad. But as far as how much schooling, uh, bachelor's, you would need that. So that's 4 years, right? And then I don't know if you can go with an associate. I don't think you can go with an associate. Um, and then you get your master's, which is 2 years. So as far as overall, 6 years is how long it would take. But if you already have your bachelor's, it shouldn't take any more than 2 years. And then um, if you go to any master's program, make sure that is K-CREP accredited. It doesn't have to be, but that'll help you in the future when it comes to licensing. And I'm pretty sure it'll make it really easier for you too if you get licensed in one state and you want to get licensed in another. Most of the time, if you have a K-CREP accredited university that you went to, you're going to meet all the requirements for basically all the states that you want to get into. But if you don't, and it's just you get your degree in counseling or whatnot, and you might be good for one state, it might be pretty hard and difficult, convincing another state that you want to get licensed in that state as well. So they might have you do like an extra class or something you have to do to get. So just make sure it's CACREP. That's CACREP. So if you just look up K-CREP accredited schools in counseling, you'll probably find some pretty good ones. Appreciate you answering. I'm 24 and due to home situations had work before going to college to get out, going to start school soon, and I appreciate the info. Yeah, yeah. Just I think that's a good place to start. Just look for K-CREP and you're good. You just want it to be accredited. How would you find a job as a therapist in Japan? Just curious. Sounds interesting. So I talked to a few people that already live there. So there's a few places that do hire that's in Japan. Um, Now the difficulty is going to be so there's Tel Japan, there's a university there, there's military bases, and I hear the military bases are always hiring. I guess the only thing that's going to be a little difficult is convincing any type of job to bring you over there, to start working. So if push comes to shove, like my first initial plan would be apply for those places. If that doesn't work, then you can go over there as an English teacher, which that's how most people get over. That can get your foot in the door. And once you're already established there, then it might be a little bit easier to be like, hey, I live here. I'm a resident. Can it might be a little easier that way. So if push comes to shove, that's going to be my like last thing I do. But like I said, there's a place called Tell Japan, and they allow you to do like part-time counseling there, part-time counseling in the United States. And one thing that's cool about it too is Japan isn't regulated, you know. So any counseling there, that's another thing to mention. Well, I doubt that person was thinking about moving to Japan, honestly. But that's another thing to consider as well is if you're licensed at all going over to Japan, you're good. Like they're not going to look into like, did you take this specific class? Because it's not regulated there, not the same way that it's regulated here. So my plan would be to do it there and then also see people tele over here in the States. That's what I would like to do. But yeah, best of luck to you. Jealous you get to leave this country, but at least we got the Spurs here in San Antonio. Um, hey, I haven't left yet. I am excited to go visit though. Yeah, it's really cool. Nothing's going to change as far as the channel. Like I'm still going to be uploading. Still going to shoot for two a day, two videos a day. Everybody has better healthcare than the United States. Yeah, when you start looking into it, it's actually insane. My friend, she had to go to the hospital. Nothing serious, nothing serious. But she had to go to the hospital, and I asked her how much was it because she's in Japan right now. I was like, how much was it? She's like, oh, it was like $20. 20 bucks? She was like, yeah, and I bought medication. It was like $10. It's crazy. But I'm looking forward to it. I am gonna do some. I don't know. Should I? I'm gonna live stream while I'm in Japan. Now that I have a gaming laptop, it makes it so much easier. I'll just bring my laptop, my mic, and my webcam. Because right now I'm using this PC's webcam. That's why it's so trash. So I'll bring a webcam for that, the old one that I used to use for, on my main PC. So I'll bring that one, and yeah, we'll live stream and everything. I might go live on my phone while I walk there, like while I'm walking there, show you guys around. It should be fun. Yeah, dude, had to take my mom to the ER. She's okay, thank God. Had an allergic reaction. One night came out to $1,700, B-ball, for an allergic reaction in a night. $1,700. Well, I'm glad she's okay. That type of stuff prevents people from like. That's why a lot of people are like, I'll just handle it at home. Like, Home remedies. I don't care. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm glad she's okay. I'm sorry, man. That's a lot of money. Zach Levine going trade Lakers. Hmm? What you talking about? What you talking about, man? Man, y'all tripping. Let's see. What happened? Broke my hand. It was going to cost almost 4,000. Luckily, Washington is awesome, and the state paid for it all. Dude, thank God. $4,000? Who has that money just sitting around, dude? What's that? Out of curiosity, I'm gonna look this up. It's a long-winded question. I don't know why I typed all that out. I was trying to see like emergency funds. We're gonna talk more Spurs, don't get me wrong, but out of curiosity, I was trying to look this up. Most Americans don't have enough to cover a $1,000 emergency. Found over half of American adults couldn't cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. Many lack even basic emergency savings. Nearly 27% of Americans report having no emergency savings at all. The ideal emergency fund is 3 6 months of living expense. Yeah, no one has that. No one has that. Yeah, Donnie, nobody has that, bro. 3 to 6 months of living expenses? Are you serious? Oh man, that's rough. Emergency savings for an American is $600. Okay. Millennials and Gen Zers have the lowest median emergency savings with 500 and 200 respectively. Oh, well, that's because millennials and Gen Zers, they just don't work hard enough. They just need to like lock in, right? And just work harder. That's all that is. Forget the crazy amount it costs to like survive each day. They need to lock in. That's crazy. I only work 4 or 5 months a year. That's pretty cool. What do you do? What do you do, man? Got to work in big tech only way. That is true. That new oh yeah, Ian, you told me you were gonna tell me about that. The new Dexter show seemed lame, by the way. Couldn't get through half of the first episode. Ooh. Yeah, I saw Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 77. I was like, ooh, yikes. Yikes. 77% for a show, especially Dexter, is pretty bad. I wish they had stopped milking the Dexter stuff. They already screwed up the ending of it. They shouldn't even brought it back. The newer show was okay for a while, and then it ended poorly again. It was like just leave this franchise alone. Do something new, please, for the love of God. Just do a whole new serial killer. I don't want to see the backstory of Dexter. I don't care. No one wants to see that. New Blood at least fixed the ending to OG Dexter. It did, and then it ruined its own ending. Do you like Marvel Rivals? Dude, when we get off, hold on, will I be able to? Okay, I think I'll have enough time. I want to play more of it tonight. It is so fun, bro. Marvel Rivals is so much fun. This is an OG Overwatch player, okay? I miss Overwatch from back in the day. It's scratching that itch for me, man. What is Civ 7? It's awesome. It's so good. The more you play it, the better it gets. I don't understand why no one plays Doctor Strange, or not enough people play Doctor Strange. I tried him out, and I was like, okay, everyone should have this character on their team. What the heck? Best tank easily. Hope they don't balance anything. This game is awesome. I'm also gotten better at Sparking Zero too. I'm not losing that many games anymore. Playing what games do you play? Right now I'm playing Sparking Zero and Marvel Rivals. Those are the main ones. And I got it in Japanese, so I can just listen to Japanese all day. Whenever I'm playing, I can listen to it. Um, my favorite franchise is Yakuza. I haven't played that in a while. Um, yeah, that's the only thing I'm playing right now. Just those two. Yeah, what is Civ? No, Civ is 2 months away. Oh, is Civilization 7 out? What is Civilization? I don't think I've ever played that. All right. All right, let's see if what the Spurs got to say for themselves. Oh, it don't look like we have a Wimby press one tonight. Okay, is it weird that Wimby didn't talk? I don't know. Maybe it's not. All right. All right, let's go to this. They need to speak for themselves. They need to answer for their sins. We'll start with Harrison Barnes, and we'll just do another segment on Mitch Johnson because Harrison Barnes deserves his own segment. He was great tonight, and he's always so optimistic. Hopefully, he'll convince you guys not to jump off the ledge. Wait, I don't want it this big. Actually, I don't want it that big. There we go. That's a question. Can you guys hear that? You can't hear that, can you? Here you go. Now you should hear it. Sorry about that. If it plays,
Yeah, I think it's for us. I think just our late game execution is a area of improvement for us. We put ourselves in position, battled for 44 or 46 minutes to give ourselves a chance to win, and then just finishing out games, something that we can.
funny how Harrison Barnes is the only one talking. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little strange that we didn't see Wimby. And it should have been posted by now. That's why I waited so long on this live stream. But
Get better at.
he did have a phenomenal game today.
It's still that thing for a young team learning to win these on the road. It seems like they made a leap at home in some of these games, but the road is a different beast down the stretch, I think.
Absolutely, and I think some of the little things that we talk about, whether it's turnovers, whether it's offensive rebounds, um, whether it's just getting to our spots quickly and giving ourselves time and a possession to kind of just let things play out. I think those are just the little things that we can just key in on.
Basically, just letting the game come to you offensively. At least that's what I heard.
When you look at the final possession, do you just give Minnesota credit for snuffing out what you guys were trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, anyone, regardless of the game it is, you can always dissect the last play, but it's all the other plays that lead up to it.
It's all the other plays that lead up to it. That's why I wasn't, because as soon as I got on this live stream, everybody was super upset about the last play, which I understand. It was very ugly. But it was a lot of questionable mistakes up to that last play. In particular, Wimby taking 4 threes within 4 minutes of the last 4 minutes. Pretty sure it was the last 4 minutes. Make sure. Hold on. So you guys don't think I'm just talking. It was so many. And it was uncalled for. This is a very close game. Let's get a nice quality shot. Let's see. All right. All right, that was a missed 2-point shot with 5 minutes. All right, so we're under 4 minutes. We got a Wemby 3 minutes and 57 on the clock. We're tied. They go up by 2. And then we get a missed 3-point shot from Wemby again. And then we have a made pull-up jump shot from Wemby. Very clutch, very clutch. And then after that, with 1:29, we have a 24-foot 3-point shot missed, and we're down by 3. That's just, to me, that's just panic mode. Just get a quality shot. There's enough time on the clock. And then with 59 seconds on the clock, we get another Wemby 28-foot 3-point jumper. And then he made a dunk, and he made 1 of 2 free throws, and then it was kind of a wrap, right? Still could have won, but that's to me the last 4 minutes was very questionable. It's a close game. You don't need a 3 right now. We're not exchanging threes back and forth, you know. It's not like we were just exchanging like back to back to back. It's not like we were super hot from 3. No point in doing that.
That really mattered, right? I mean, our second quarter could have been better. Our third quarter, even parts in the fourth, those lapses, that put us in that last possession. We can always look at it and say, oh, could we have screened here? Could we have done this? Could we have done that? But that's not where the game was won or lost.
Was an issue for both teams with the late start? Was that kind of a weird? When did you find out?
No, the late start, that is no excuse. You had more time to warm up.
You got an extra hour
during my pregame meal, that's when we got the text. It was like, hey, they're gonna be changing the flow route. Obviously during shoot around, I don't know if it was a sticker or whatever was going on with the paint was just coming off. So, first time seeing that in the league, but obviously they got it changed and there's no issue.
It didn't affect any preparations or any rhythm or anything like that.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously you give them credit. Obviously they played a great game, but we had every chance to win this game. We had some good moments, and like I said, some moments that we can improve on.
Okay, guys, real talk. I know this is gonna sound really reactionary. Okay, okay, all right. When people say, "Hey, Clan, do you think that this player could be a really good coach, or do you think this player could be a really good coach?" Or da da. And usually I'm just like, I'm not the biggest believer in really great players becoming really great coaches. It's happened, but usually it's kind of role players, I think, that end up being pretty good coaches. Harrison Barnes, from his voice alone, bro, I think he would make a really good coach. Listen to that. No panic, no panic whatsoever. Cool as a cucumber. Why do we say that? Are cucumbers even cool? How do we say that?
Preparations or any rhythm or anything like that.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously you give them credit. Obviously they played a great game, but we had every chance to win this game. We had some good moments, and like I said, some moments that we can improve on.
He's great. I love him. All right. Well, some wise words from our uncle, as the kids would say. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everyone's okay. Seems like everyone in the chat has calmed down, or maybe some of the people that were really upset have left. But yeah, it's all right. Look, it was a really good game. Really tough team, defensively, that is. We struggled with them last game. I think we did a better job this one. Second quarter in particular, you got to be good all 4 quarters. You can't just let them take control like that. It took a stellar third quarter performance for us to be back in that game. And at the end of the at the end of the day, the Spurs haven't really shown that they can just kill these, really close games. They're going to struggle sometimes, and it was one of those situations. But I do judge a little bit, or I critique that a little bit. The threes at the end, it wasn't necessary. I thought the timing was off on that. You don't have to do that, right? I mean, sure, if he hit 4 for 4 of those, then we're happy that we won the game. But I don't know. I can deal with plenty of threes from Wimby right now. I understand that he doesn't necessarily have like the strength yet. He hasn't had a legitimate offseason to really develop that aspect of his game, right? Getting into the paint and getting exactly what he wants. And threes are just what he can settle for, right? No one can block it, but you can do better than that. Let's find a quality shot. He's passed the ball around a little bit, try to get a good shot in those situations. Clay Castle in the game wouldn't have gotten away from us in the first place, to be honest. I agree that I want Castle to play more, but in the course of 8 minutes, he had 4 turnovers. So it's one of those things I just can't be angry with Mitch Johnson about it. That's a lot of turnovers in a short period of time, man. That's a lot of turnovers in a short period of time. But I am a believer in Castle, and I think as the game went on, he would have adjusted and been fine. But his minutes are all out of whack right now. So all right, let's end this segment. He can't shoot threes every time. He needs to know when to mix it. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Next order of business. We heard Harrison Barnes. We haven't seen Wimby. Doesn't look like Wimby's going to speak tonight. But Mitch Johnson, you guys might have heard of him, right? He's a pretty decent coach. He has something to say. Castle's out of rhythm. Yeah, for sure.
Minnesota's defense in the fourth quarter, and especially defending that final play.
Yeah, they're elite. I felt them in the second quarter the most with the 12 points. They did a good job. They're physical. They're big. They're athletic. They have good individual defenders. They're connected as a team. And I was happy with our response to the second quarter in the first half. But they are a great defensive team.
Fully expect the Spurs to come into the third quarter and play hard. That's one thing we can say about this season and not last season. Last season, it was like clockwork. I knew exactly when we were going to lay an egg, right? Like effort's not going to necessarily, well, the effort will always be there, but we're going to make some really bad mistakes. We're not going to be consistent. There's going to be so many miscommunications. But this season, I have not felt that. Every single game, I felt that it was going to be a dogfight. I did not expect any game for the Spurs to get blown out in. Not even this one. Even in the second quarter, when Timberwolves were controlling the entire pace of the game, I did not expect the Spurs to get blown out. And that is huge. That is a big step in the right direction. Even though I'm not a believer in the playoffs, I don't believe the Spurs make the playoffs like some Spurs fans think. I do think that I don't think that this season is meaningless, right? I think if they can get to 44 wins, playoffs or not, this was a successful season, all things considered during a rebuild stage.
This is the end of a long road trip for you guys. I made the longest whole year so far. What did you guys take from that, even though the wins weren't plentiful?
I think we felt what road NBA basketball looks like against good teams. And I think there is some takeaways that we should feel really good about and some takeaways that'll give us much to do to get back to work when we get home.
And then,
Guys, how many home games do we have coming up? Looking this up. Kind of weird being on my laptop and doing all this.
lengthen the rotation a little tonight. Maybe play some of those bigs again. Is that due to Minnesota's size, or what was the thought process there?
Yeah, matchups.
We only have the Clippers, and then we have the Nuggets, and that's in Denver, and then we're back at home, then we're back on the road, 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 then we're back home. Spurs better get it together on away games. I heard Sean Elliott say something that was really smart. He was like, as long as you're 500 on the road, you're looking like a pretty good team. because you should win most of yours at home. So you're looking at close to 50 wins if you do it that way. I think that's a possibility, but I say we get 44. My boy is a diehard Knicks fan and keeps swearing the Spurs will make the playoffs. If we were in the conference, we probably could. Oh, if we were, oh yeah. If we were in East, yeah, we're in the playoffs.
We have multiple guys that aren't playing or aren't playing as many minutes that we want to play more minutes. At some point, it's just a numbers game, and it's hard. And sometimes you make calls or decisions, and you don't know if you're right or wrong until the results tell you, and that still doesn't mean you're right or wrong, but it's tough.
When you have a guy like Zach who hadn't played in quite a long time, does it take a while just to get
Man, we were getting killed so bad in that paint. Of course, they're gonna try to bring Zach Collins in.
the game back?
I think so. I think it's when you have good people that want to do well, not just for themselves, but for the teammate next to them and those guys in the locker room. Sometimes that can work against you as a human just because you want it so bad. You almost override your instincts.
Wimby is far from a finished product, which is okay. He's far from a finished product, which is actually insane. I mean, he just won a silver medal in the Olympics, and he's nowhere near far off than what he's going to be. I'm excited for Jokic versus Wimby. That's going to be fun.
Last one for me. What kind of luxury is it to have a guy like Harrison Barnes, who a lot of nights can just fit in, but every so often
Harrison Barnes question. We all know he's great. Please don't be the last question.
He was excellent from the get-go. He was probably one of the few guys that I think matched their physicality and grit from the start. And
that's what I said. That was my critique on I think I tweeted that out. I was like we need a little bit more nasty from Wimby right now. I mean the team as a whole, but I was like, man, he is not punching them in the mouth right now. They're just kind of doing whatever they want. Man.
Goes to show you, I think we've finished with different lineups almost every game, it feels like, and that again goes to good problem to have, but hard decisions to make.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. I feel like Coach been doing a pretty good job. Just a tough loss. But I don't know. I guess I just won't be that upset that we lost to the freaking Timberwolves, one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think it showed that the last 12 games, they're second in the NBA on defense. I don't know. Man, you didn't say that. I didn't say Wemby needs to bring nasty. Are you trolling? Hold on. I think I'm logged into Twitter on here. Just kidding. Oh, okay. I'll show it anyway. Wait, I could have sworn I said that. That's me complaining about his 3-point attempts. Oh, yeah. I said it right here. Game played horrible, but I do think we need Wimby to find a way to be impactful. Best player on the court and our leader. We are almost completely leaning on the vets right now. I think we'll see more nasty in the third. Yeah. All right. Anyways. I think we've all calmed down a little bit from this loss. I think we feel a little bit better, right? Everything's going to be okay. We go against the Nuggets. Or not the Nuggets. We get the Clippers next. Should be a good one. Hopefully we can come away with a dub. But I believe in this team. We'll be all right. We'll take care of business. All right, guys. We've been on for an hour and 41 minutes. I'm hopping off. I need to shower. Gonna go see Wicked tomorrow. at noon. So that'll be fun. Clippers New Year's Eve. Clippers New Year's Eve. So I'm gonna go shower, get ready for bed, maybe play a little bit of Marvel Rivals. That should be fun. And then hit the hay. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Now I won't shout out my letterbox. I don't really feel like it. But if you want to follow me on Letterbox, Clan the Film Fan. Good night, Clan. Good night, man. Sucks to lose these close games against good teams. Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. I think the Spurs are as good as their record right now. At first, I thought we were better than our record, but I don't think so anymore. I think we are a 500 team.